there in the Bristol Channel is Holm Island. It's the one with the lighthouse on it. And over here is Lavernock Point. Now, in May 1897, these two places witness one of the greatest moments in telecommunications history. Italian inventor Guglielmo Marconi's dream was to create a wireless means of communication. Aged just 21, he brought his new invention to Lavernock Point to prove that it could send a message over open water.
Here in this field in the middle of Lavernock, the world changed.
Just over a century later, with help from Barry Amateur Radio Society and Marconi expert Tim Wander, we're going to try and recreate history. This is Marconi here, is it?
That's Marconi. He's just 21.
He looks younger than 21 there, doesn't he?
And his older colleague, his personal assistant, George Kemp. Marconi believed that radio was a system for the future. But he had no backers, he had no support, until he was picked up by William Preece, a Welshman. He was the chief engineer of the British Post Office. He put his arm around Marconi and said, "Show us what you've got." This is where he came.
And this picture is from this field, is it?
That's right. So these engineers here, they're setting up the equipment. This was the post office publicity photograph, but I think this was staged because only Marconi and Kemp would have been allowed to use the equipment.
Marconi's assistant, George Kemp, battled his way out to Holm Island and set up the transmitter. Paint the picture. What was it like?
This was a terrible place to be because there was a massive storm raging. They'd set up a 110-foot aerial. It's blowing in the wind. The equipment, which was just sat on a desk, getting soaked, they tried to put a sheet over it. And really, nobody would believe it would work.
Back at Lavernock Point, a huge crowd had gathered to see if Marconi could receive the message, beamed magically through the air by radio waves.
The Royal Navy are here, the press are here, the Army are here. And when they started Marconi's experiment, guess what? It failed. The post office had lent him people, they'd lent him money, and it didn't work. And Marconi says, "Don't panic, we have an idea."
With his future riding on this one moment, Marconi moves his aerial closer to the shore for a final attempt.
And magically out of the ether comes Morse code. I'm now convinced that he actually deliberately failed in his first experiment and then to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat, and the press and the public love that. They called him the magician of the airwaves.
Our local magicians from Barry Amateur Radio Society are ready with their replica equipment. And with the help of club chairman Glyn, I'm going to attempt to decode the first message that Marconi received. I'm feeling a bit nervous about this. I mean, I can't imagine what Marconi felt like on the day. I haven't really got much at stake.
Terrifying.
So that was four dots. I think that's an H. 3 da's, isn't it? Yes, that's an O. A dot and then two long ones. Where's that? W. How. Spelling out how. 3 letters cracked, and I have an idea of what the first message may have been. So a dot and then a long one. So that's an A. Getting the hang of this. 2 shorts and a long. How are you? And that, how are you, is the first Marconi message, isn't it?
Yep. And it worked.
Just 3 simple words sent over 4 miles of water, but a moment that changed the world of communication forever. If Marconi was here today, what would you say to him?
From the bottom of my heart, I would say a great thank you, because his invention has saved tens of thousands of lives and will continue to save tens of thousands of lives.
Time for me to get back on the coast path for the final stretch of my journey around Wales. As I head east, the Bristol Channel between Wales and England